Lord, we thank you for a beautiful new summer day, and we just pray for this meeting, this workshop, as we discuss equipment needs for the county. Give us wisdom that we need and the ability to work with Roger and help him with the needs that he and his department have. We just thank you for the opportunity that you give us to make decisions like this, and pray that we would honor you as well as the taxpayers and utilize the county resources to the best of our abilities. Bless this meeting. We turn it over to you. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, Carl. Good morning.
I Christmas making some copies of some other pages I thought y'all might want. We'll get your own copy of the cash report, copy of the, they're going to give you a copy of Fund 20's budget. Remember Fund 19, that's the one that's budgeted but has never been set up. We had $1 million set over there and then transferred into money except $75,000 was pulled out and put in precinct 2, so there's in the budget now, there's $25,000. The money's been moved. So we look at your cash reports, there's about $5 million in fund balance. You decide to use that money, that money's going to come out of your fund balance. The only other thing that's happened, not that many of you already know, is since the budget was done, we've done the fire department things. Best I can tell, that's $700,000 roughly. Is that how much more money it's going to be?
No, not more, not more. 180 and 180.
360.
360.
Okay. It's $200,000 for me. So you're going to dip into your fund balance, which you can't do forever, or you're going to have to come up with about $1.5 to $2 cents. Right? The cost of that $400,000 would be $260 based on the current valuations. And I haven't seen the valuations changing a lot.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of every 4% a little bit, but pretty much
Not significantly. Yeah, that's good information.
He's going to get you a list of the old equipment. Roger, for all y'all, that is a potential source for some money. We've got some old equipment that because of the way we're doing things now, we don't need all that equipment. Maybe you can buy some of this new equipment by selling some of that old equipment.
Pull that mic up to you just for the
It's a
record.
potential source of some revenue. I don't know how practical that is, how realistic that is. Y'all would know more about looking at the equipment list than I would about what you can get for some of that equipment if you don't need it. But if we've got some old pieces that either we're going to replace with these new pieces or we just don't need it anymore, or we've got 4 of them and we only need 2 of them, or, you know, whatever the case may be. She's going to get you that inventory. She's printing all that off, so she should be here just a minute.
Okay, very good. Well, we've this is just for the record. This is the special meeting workshop today, 30th day of May 2017, just after 9 o'clock. We've got a couple of agenda items, just basically one main agenda item, and that is a discussion with possible action to follow regarding equipment needs. And Carl's giving you a little bit of an introduction there, just so that you keep in mind where additional resources would come from should we decide to make any equipment purchases. I guess at this time then I'll turn the meeting over to Roger. Roger, are you okay with us sitting up here? You know, it's good to have the mics on us. It makes it a little tougher for the public to hear the recording when we're sitting down there. I know it makes it a little less personal, but nonetheless, maybe you could sit at that table and get a mic in front of yourself. Maybe grab that other mic for Philip or you or whoever.
The only other thing I probably should have said that yes, just me, we set this money aside initially going to be a one-time expense, and we were going to use it just to improve the roads. When I talked to Roger, he thought the way to do it was to use it to buy equipment. They could improve the roads with the equipment themselves. Again, you got to look at this. It's one time. Where you never have to earn money to use it. It's on balance. It's like pulling money out of your savings account at home. Okay? It's not, unless you request it, you don't have an unlimited supply in your savings account. You didn't do it on when you need to. I think, state legislature refers to it as their rainy day fund.
You didn't pull that $1 million out of the general fund last year?
I have not actually moved the money out. That's why the cash reports don't show any money in the front line.
But that was why it was on the budget.
It was on the budget. And we were going to wait until y'all decided for sure whether you want to do it or not. But we went ahead and budgeted it so that it would be there if you did decide you wanted to do it. There's no money in the fund 19. All the money is still up in the general account. About $8 million over there, about $5 million over here to your fund balance or your savings account. We did move $75,000 now.
Morning, Judge. Thank you, man.
Hey, Judge. Y'all very good this morning?
So far, so good.
All right, so everybody got a copy? Did you get a copy? Did you get a copy? Oh, yours. You get mine. Yes. I think Philip got a copy. Okay. This is my equipment needs for the Road and Bridge Department. The first item I have is a large smooth drum vibratory roller with a pad shell and a bridge shell. If you'll look at the second page, you'll see what one of these looks like. Okay. It's a pretty good sized piece of equipment. I mean, it's 131 horsepower. I think this one's, what is it, 88 or 84 inches wide? You remember, Philip, it's 84 inches wide. Okay. Now, what we plan on using this for is to compact subgrade material, compact base material, and also to help break down our wrap material in our mixing yard. We borrowed a grid roller from Prefer. We tried to use it, but it didn't quite break down the material the way we wanted to break it down. And Philip, can you set up that video? Yes. We'd like to show you a video on what the grid roller can do. And the video is going to show it breaking up rocks, and it's also going to show it breaking up some chunks of asphalt on the roadway. So this is a multi-purpose piece of equipment. It'll do three things for us. It can act as a smooth drum roller, it can act as a pad foot roller, and it can act as a grid roller. And we're looking at a used one with the pad foot shell and the grid shell. Cost $143,000. Let's see.
Brand spanking new for all that is what?
It's probably going to run another, another 25, 30,000.
To get brand new?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this one's a pretty nice used unit.
It's a pretty nice one. It still has a warranty on it too for CAT. But that's what we're looking at. That may not be the exact roller we can get, but
That's what
Does this replace something we currently have, or it's a better version of something we currently have, or we've never had something like this?
I think the only time y'all use something like this, you borrowed it or rented it.
And how often have we done that?
Not since I've been here.
I rented one a couple of years ago. I was working on the road, which it was a little bit light. This was a little bit heavier, which was a better job of packing and stuff. And so what we borrowed, or what we rented was actually a pad foot. It was a 66-inch, super 84. We had this grid on it. I was pulling up the video on help us out tremendously in the mix and build. Put a press down our route and also out on roads. We did that on roads, and a lot of times the material was just too big, not big for packing in. The only thing I had was
I can't hear.
Phil.
Hold it, 'cause it is, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, why don't you grab a mic down there and get one to Philip, because he'll be commenting a lot.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear any of that or make sense
Sorry
of
about
it.
that. We have rented a smaller version of this pad foot roller. the pad foot roller, and the only thing I have now is the 2 smooth drum roller, and it's just a little light. Whenever the material gets up about 4 to 6 inches, whenever we reclaim it, basically we just have to roll it off this side and push it off on the bar bench because it doesn't break down. This grid roller would help break that down, which we'll be able to use it a lot better. Which will use more material that we have existing, which would be a whole lot cheaper on us.
The way we break down those chunks of asphalt out on the road, or we pick them up and bring them back into the mixing field, we can use the grid roller to break these things down to smaller pieces so we can reuse it instead of just wasting it.
So this provides us an ability we really haven't been utilizing.
Right, it does.
That's
Raises the quality of our road beds and
To properly compact subgrade material and base material, you really need a pad foot roller. Okay? And this roller serves, like I said, 3 purposes. You can use a smooth drum to smooth off base and to actually compact our cold mix with it. You can use the pad foot for subgrade materials and base materials, and we use that grid roller to break down the wrap material, to use all the wrap material to make cold mix in our mixing yard. Plus, we can break down the bigger chunks of material we have out on the roadway now. So we've got some asphalt out there, probably 20, 30 years old. It's hard. We've got a lot of places where we've got a crack pattern and the pieces are about so big, about 6 inches diameter or so. And it's hardly any way to break those down unless you do something like use this grid roller. And the grid shell itself is $26,500. Okay? So that's part of this expense. So if you take the $26,500 off of this, the machine looks a little better overall.
well, you've answered my question, and that is, in each one of these requests, I'm wanting to know, because I don't know much about building roads, if it replaces an existing piece of equipment and we're really no better off than we were as far as what we're producing in the way of roads. But in this case, we're taking our road building quality up to a new level with this.
Yes, this should really help us.
What's the expected life of something like this?
I hope we can get 15 years out of it.
Okay. And how do you transport it from location to location? Do you just drive it there?
No, you can't drive this down the road.
I was
It's
gonna
terrible road.
say. Yeah, I was gonna
So you
say.
have to haul it from location to location.
Do we have the ability to do that? Or we just hire that out?
We would have to hire that out now, but that's why the number 4 down on the list, the haul trailer. That's one of the reasons it's on the list.
Okay.
We need the trailer to haul the pad or the roller we're talking about, and to haul our bow mag that we have now.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I got the video pulled up. You want to show the judge? I think all the commissioners have seen it.
I don't know if all the commissioners have seen it, or not. I don't know if Mike.
Well, they can gather around if anybody wants to see it.
day-to-day basis. This material right here.
That's metal. That's steel.
That's correct.
And it's crushing that down into smaller.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Smaller, more solid of a bed.
And see, one thing we're getting into, if we get the grid roller to use this grid shell, we've got to drill holes in this drum to be able to mount this grid shell on it. So we need to own this roller. It's going to be hard to lease this roller or rent this roller and use this grid shell.
Yeah, a whole lot different.
We're watching.
Does that give you a better understanding of what it can do?
Yeah.
And if you do the same thing when we're in our fixing field, wrap, if we got big pieces of wrap that are stuck together, we can use this grid roller to break those down into smaller pieces so we can make cold mix better. If we can make the cold mix down into smaller pieces, we can lay it thinner on the road.
And owning a piece of equipment like this rather than hiring it out would be a lot better because we'll utilize it quite a bit.
Yes. Yes, we'll utilize this in our base repairs, and we'll utilize it in the wrenching yard. So I think we'll put a lot of hours in this piece of equipment. Do I have any questions about it? We'll move on to the next one.
It's a Caterpillar brand.
But this particular one is, so we got the price on it. Pictures in here are of the model that we got price.
Yes, we'll have to bid this one out because it is used. They have a buy board, they provide new, and we can buy it off the buy board if we buy new. I think we ought to say a used one, maybe just fine.
Just be sure when y'all come up with specs, keep them generic enough.
I'm sorry, I can't, is that a price that you have already? Have you, that price?
That's the price I gave you, but it hasn't been bid, we haven't gone out to bid, so we have to go through.
That was a quoted price.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yes, it was just a quoted price. All the prices that we have here are just quoted, and the prices that they've come back with is a ballpark, and they can very well come in a lot cheaper.
Sure,
than they are.
sure.
So all these are pretty much our best guess right now, our best estimate. They could be higher or lower.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't,
This is our best estimate of what this
Yeah.
will cost.
right,
And it could be higher or lower if we have to go out to bid.
I understand.
But everybody understands the first one? Okay. The second one is an Etnire maintenance distributor trailer. It costs, I got a quote on it of $70,000. The guy told me they sold one to Range County for $70,000, so $70,000 ought to be pretty close. Again, I guess we have to bid this out if it's over $50,000. Okay.
Since it's new, you can look at the buy board.
They're not talking about going.
Now, this one is a new one on the distributor trailer, yeah.
Yes, it's on the buy board just means that the state's already bid these out. We got a price, so you can avoid bidding, you can go with the state.
What's the spray distance?
The spray distance, how wide was the spray?
Right.
I don't remember exactly. I think it'll spray at least 16.
Oh, well, that's plenty.
lays down liquid asphalt for a seal coat. And this one can shoot either emulsion or hot oil.
It heats it.
Yeah, it has a burner system on it. You can either get propane or diesel.
And I'm looking at two pictures. One looks like it's mounted on a truck. One looks like it's pulled by a truck.
Yes, we're just looking at the trailer mounted one. We're not looking at one on a truck.
That price includes the trailer?
Yeah, that's the whole, yeah, this right here.
Okay, not that next page there with
Right.
the truck. What's the capacity on it?
1,000 gallons.
The biggest one, okay. And what are we replacing here?
We don't have one of these currently.
What do we have that I've heard these guys call a distributor?
But we do.
We have a real old one that we don't even think it's fixable.
We've had another guy come in and look at it also, and he's determined that it's just,
Is it truck mounted or pulled
it is
behind?
truck mounted. I think it's 2,000 gallon. So it's a little bit bigger than this. I think we can get by with this.
This at least will give us the ability to seal coat.
And how do you get the product into this thing? Does somebody bring it to you, or do you go and pick it up?
No, we can actually go pick it up at Ergon, or we can go to another asphalt plant and pick it up. If we shoot emulsion, more than likely we're going to pick it up here at Ergon.
Okay. And this is a new unit at 70,000.
This is a new unit.
Franklin County bought another truck recently, and it was over 100,000, like the one that we've got, this old one that's, yeah. And they paid about 100, nearly 150 for it.
Is that correct? Or was it?
No, Franklin now is new. Camp County bought Franklin County.
I don't know if our budget's going to allow us to shoot a whole lot of seal coat every year.
How would you, they have a tanker over at Franklin County, they bring that emulsion to the truck. They start off by getting it filled up out at Ergon, I guess out here, and take it out there. Then they got a truck that they bring out and pump.
Yeah, I mean.
They bring it out to the job site.
This distributor here can pump off of a transport. This trailer mounted distributor, it can pump off that transport that you're talking about.
Oh, really? Just bring the transport, okay.
2,500 gallon transport delivered to the job, and you can pump it onto this 1,000 gallon tank and shoot.
Yeah.
You said you don't think we'll have enough money to do a whole lot of this.
No, I don't think we will.
So that begs the question, for me anyway, is why wouldn't we hire this service out as needed if we don't utilize it that much?
If you hire the service out, I think it's going to be cost prohibitive too.
Even at the level we're talking about doing?
At the amount we're talking about, yes.
Okay. So a whole lot more efficient to buy rather than hire that service out?
Yes, I think so.
How many miles a year are you talking about you can seal coat?
Well, that gets back to the budget.
Well, assuming that all you had was the budget you got for 20, because that's pretty much the budget we give with the 3 years.
Okay.
How many miles can you do?
Turn to the back sheets of this handout. It costs about $14,000 a mile to seal coat a road that's 16 foot wide. Okay, has everybody got to that material cost?
Next to last one.
Everybody see it?
Just the seal coat's $14,000.
$14,000 a mile seal coat.
And that's basically the cost of just what you're spraying down?
That's our cost, sprayed down with the rock on top of it.
That includes rock and the oil?
And the oil, 14,000 a mile. To seal our 430 miles, it costs $6 million. If you did it on a 15-year cycle, it'll cost $401,000 a year to seal all our roads on a 15-year cycle. and 15 is probably pushing it. At the state, we seal them every 5 to 7 years. For that 401,000, you can seal 28.7 miles of road a year. That's what
Well,
I'm
is
saying.
seal coating all 430 miles an objective that you would have, or?
I would think so, eventually, yes.
Okay.
In a 15-year cycle, I would think you can run all the roads in the county sealed once every 15 years.
That's not necessarily true. Some of those roads, there's one house up at the dead end, is a half mile. If you take the roads that we travel, that 430 is highly, highly exaggerated. Probably less than 300. You know, there's travel roads that should be recycled probably every 15 years. Tons of those roads are one house up the half mile up the road, lots of miles. If you take each road in each precinct and look at the mileage that they have to do a road like you're talking about, would be totally not necessary.
Well, a seal coat is your best maintenance objective.
Right.
The best maintenance tool that you can use.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying the 430 miles is, I think, a little bit not realistic.
Well, that's our total miles we have in the county.
Well, that's what, yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. Nobody rechecked that. That's an old list that everybody's got, and I've rechecked it. It says we have 105 or 110 precinct 1, and we got about 90, 80 something actually. We went out and measured them ourselves. We took the thing on rainy days, and it's so, I don't know how that mileage chart that you have, well, I left them there, 92, I think, or what year they were done, and
Compared to what did they report on your precinct? You're saying it's more like 90, 93. What did they report it as? Did you say 105?
no, about, yeah, I think precinct 1 might have been 105.
So it might be 10% high. No, probably more like 15 or 20% high. Now, they did some swapping around with precinct 2. You know, they added some, they give some to 2 when they took that, or give some to 1 from 2, and then 2 got precinct 4. So I don't know whether the swapping happened after that or not. So we literally took the trucks on these rainy days and measured each road. And we come out like with 80 something miles total. But that's not, the point I'm making is that the 430 miles, it's not in our, okay, let's just go back to what we did, say 85 miles. You're not going to seal coat or need to seal coat if there's one guy that lives 5/10 of a mile up the road. And bear in mind that these roads, the longest county road that we have in precinct 1 is like 5 miles and 5-point-something miles. There's no long road. But some of those roads, the shorter road, tons of them, lots of those miles, and I never did try to subtract it, is only like 3/10 of a mile. There's one house at the end of the mile. Now, should we seal coat that road, or should we keep patching those roads? And if you subtract all of that, the 430, I think, is highly Well, you just asked the question that I was going to ask. Are you suggesting that some of these roads are insignificant enough where they don't ever need seal coat?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You still got to maintain them.
Well,
Seal coat's still
yeah.
the cheapest ways to maintain them.
And you're saying we're better off, even on these seldom traveled one-house roads, you're better off seal coating them in the long haul?
Yes.
Probably, but not every 15 years. I can take you to some roads that are out there right now in precinct 1 that were seal coated when they built them, and they're still in good shape. And they've been there more than 15 years, and they're.
Some of them may, some of them you may be able to go longer than 15 years.
But some of them seems to me like you're gonna need to do, yeah, you're gonna need to do your well-traveled roads, maybe 5 to 7.
Yes.
So it evens out.
Yeah, it all kind of evens out. Still, it's a chunk of money, is what I'm looking at here. You know, even if you put them on a 15-year cycle, you still would have to come up with like $400,000 a year to spend on seal coat. And right now, we can't touch that.
And when you're talking about 400,000, that's just material.
That's just material, yes.
So if you look at your budget I gave you for 20, that's all 4 precincts put together. I think we've got maybe $225,000. That'd be about right. Yeah, each of you about $50,000 or $60,000 a year for raw materials. So we got 250, so we're about half that number.
And that's just seal coat. That's just sealing it up.
Yeah, and that budget includes more than just seal coat.
Yes.
I did want to bring this up. In '92 was, I think, the last time we checked the mileage on the roads and stuff. In between time, we had roads closed where the mining operations and stuff were going on, and we had quite a few different things happening. I did have my roads on the 15-year cycle, and I was able to get them all worked in 15 years and redone. And then we picked up part of precinct 4, and it's based on population, 25% in each precinct, 1% more or less, but it had to be that close. The roads, the seal coating, the whole key to it is to keep water out of the road.
Yes.
And I've got
keep water from going on the surface of the road, and keep water from coming in from the edges of the road. So, seal coat's the best thing that you can put down, one of the cheapest things you can put down to keep water from entering the surface of the roadway.
And I've got about, I have about 25 miles of road that we put asphalt on, and they have held up well. But what you get is cracks.
Right.
Once those cracks start, if you have one of those winters where you have a lot of rain and freezing, you're gonna think somebody's been bombing that road.
Yeah.
But let me say this about the people.
You're going to keep losing ground.
You have roads out there that may have 2 or 3 houses down on one road, but those people pay taxes too, and they want the roads fixed.
Right.
But I agree with what Al said. Some of those roads, you can patch them a lot longer because you don't have the heavy traffic. We've got roads in the county now that use 18-wheelers use them.
Yeah.
Because we've got bridges that can hold everything up. And we're getting heavier and bigger equipment on these county roads, and they were not made for that type of deal. And that's what we're running into. And there's places north of Winfield up there, people are building $500,000 homes up there. So, and they're bringing big 18-wheeler trucks down those little old narrow county roads. We didn't have that problem 20 years ago.
Let me ask you another question. We can really only seal the code up to this part of the state 2 or 3 months a year, right?
Right.
So if you had all the money you did, how many miles of road can we realistically do with something? Basically, just got June, July, and August, right?
It's going to depend more on the money than anything else.
But if we had money, could we do 50 miles a year with the existing staff? Just
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. I think you could. But I don't think you're going to be able to afford 50 miles a year.
Well, again, back to what we originally talked about with the $1 million, it was to seal coat some roads to help us get caught up. Maybe, you've got $1 million in the budget. You haven't elected to. We put the money over there, but it's going to take y'all vote again before we spend the money. But we do have $1 million over there that can kickstart your program, and you can spend $800,000. I don't know exactly how much equipment you got that you want to buy, but you have to take that out.
Yeah. $300,000.
Okay, so that'd be $700,000. So you could do, if you're doing 28 miles for $400,000, you could do 45 miles this year, you keep starting now. What you're gonna do every year after that, you're gonna have to figure out where you're gonna get the money from, because you can't keep dipping it in the fund balance, you can't rob it. You just can't do that.
But the thing about it, Carl, is that there's a lot of road out there that's got to be reworked before we can even talk about seal coat.
Yeah, so you're looking at spending about that much money fixing them before you can sue them.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. Straighten up quick. Really good.
Have y'all talked to Upshur County? We were told that it was costing them $4,000 to $5,000 a mile to.
I don't see how
I
really don't.
I hadn't been able to do it.
To do what?
The seal coat.
$4,000 to $5,000.
The volume, the weight.
What the commissioner.
This may be another problem, but like I got a logger right now running, and I've got him routed off of the main road. The shortest route for him to get on one of those well-traveled roads. So I asked him to go around, and he's going around. And I drove by on that road. It's tearing that road up. It's just not made for those loads, and I don't know. I really don't know the best way to handle it. Well, I guess we could get the sheriff to put some scales out there to catch them, make them cut down on the road, but I think it would still tear up those roads where the corners they make, and it's just, all I'm hoping is I can get the logger to help us, when he gets through, to help us pay, and I haven't had much luck with that. The only other time I went after a logger.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, look at the road he's talking about. Looks to me like all we've got is maybe 2 inches of oil sand, maybe just on just dirt. I don't think it has any base in it. It's just sandy or clay material underneath.
That's what 90% of our roads are anyway. Well, maybe 75 is oil sand over top of dirt is all it is.
In other words, to get it ready to seal coat is going to be a very expensive project.
How much a mile get it rated?
I don't know. I didn't come up with that. It's going to be.
Is it going to be?
It's going to be probably more than that. Yes. It's probably going to be at least that much.
So technically, what you're really saying is you got to have 30,000 miles. I mean, $30,000 a mile to seal coat the road, because you got to fix it first before you can even seal coat.
Right. Which gets back, everything's going to be limited by the budget. What's going to happen to us? It's going to depend on how much money we can actually put toward the roads and how much we're going to get done. And right now, you can't get much done with the budget we have.
You can send us twice that. It's not 14,000. It's going to be, it'll be 14 the next time you come back and do it, because the road won't have to be fixed.
Well,
the first time you
that's assuming that everything goes
yeah.
well.
Yeah. I mean, if you came up with that plan. That's kind of what the city did with their roads. They were able to find the funding.
Yeah.
So you know, franchise people, I think, would do all that. And they've had that deal in place now for over 20 years. And their systems come along pretty good. They've got a lot of good roads to be done. That's what they did. They put some more right to do a franchise people do it.
And water fees and trash fees. They've got multiple options.
But yeah, let's go back to the budget. We're going to be limited by the budget. But I think you're going to have to increase it to gain any ground on the county roads. I think you've been losing ground for 10, 15 years now. You're going to have to put more money in them to gain ground. It would cost you nearly 4 times as much to rebuild them as it would to maintain them in the first place. And we've got a lot of them that really need to be rebuilt. There's not too much to save.
I know I had around 25 miles in pretty good shape, but it took years to get there.
Right.
You gotta get the base done, you got to rework the road. We were, my first 15 years, we were able to rework every road, even north, West New Hope and back up in there. We reworked every road, replaced every, covered up, or everything was rotted out. It was terrible, terrible shape. And I was trying to do basically what the city was doing, and everything worked well till about 14 years ago when the price of oil started taking off.
And that's
We were paying $14 a barrel, and 2 years ago we paid $109 a barrel. So that's the killer right there.
And that's when y'all quit sealing the roads.
That's when we quit sealing roads. When it started going up and up and up, we couldn't get it to do.
Well, let's get back on track with your equipment. I mean, we can talk about
Yes.
road budget needs forever, but let's deal with one at a time.
Okay, so back to the distributor trailer. That was the cheapest way I figured we can actually seal coat roads. We do have an old chip spreader. We think that we can still get it running and use it. So I think with this distributor, we can seal coat.
What was the other thing that you were referring to?
A chip spreader.
Chip spreader, okay.
It actually is what puts the rock on the road.
Rock on the road.
In an even course.
This machine only sprays the
It's only
liquid.
sheets of oil on the
Okay.
road.
All right. How do you pronounce that?
Etnire.
Etnire.
That,
See, we can pull that trailer with multiple vehicles.
It's a well-known brand also. I mean, we're going to have trouble getting parts for it. You know, later
US made?
I'm sorry?
US made?
Yeah, I think it is. As far as I know, it is.
The what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Philip. What'd you say?
I said it's a well-known brand.
Yeah.
And we should
Right.
be able to get parts for it years down the road, you know.
Yeah.
Some of this equipment that we get, we're having a hard time getting parts for it because it's
Right.
made elsewhere, you know. So
Oh, yeah.
we should, I mean, they should be able to get parts years and years from now.
Well, after I seen this picture, I happened to see one out on the road, one of these trailers.
Yeah.
It had to be the exact same trailer that you had a picture of here. This, somebody was, they had about looked like a small dump truck pulling it. I wondered what they had pulling it. They didn't have, that's instead of 4x4 pickup truck or something.
Yeah, it'd probably be better to
Yeah.
pull it with one of our 1.5 trucks or
Yeah,
with
two-
a 6-yard dump truck.
Yeah,
Something like that.
that's about what they had pulling that one.
Because when you get 1,000 gallons of oil kind of sloshing around in the tank, it jerks the truck around pretty good.
Is that
I don't know how much
trailer
it,
baffled? Is that trailer baffled?
Yeah, I'm sure it's baffled, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
All right, move on to item 3. I'm feeling pretty good about item 3.
Yeah, like a 3-inch water pump, if we're gonna work base material and subgrade material out on the road, we need to be able to get water. And right now, we do not have we don't own a water pump. I think they've used their oil trucks in the past that will suck water into the truck, but it can't suck it for very much of a distance. And if we're getting it out of a creek or a pond somewhere, there's times when we need to be able to push it 20 or 30 foot. So that's what we want the water pump for.
Okay. Item 4.
Haul trailer. We found a haul trailer. It's actually over in Dangerfield for about $30,000. We need this haul trailer to be able to move our boat bag and this new roller. The new roller weighs, I think, 20,500 pounds, and I can't remember what the boat bag weighs. But both of them are going to exceed as fast as anything we have right now, I believe. Oh, yeah, the haul with.
The only trailers we have, light duty, 10,000-pound axles. The gross on those is about 20,500, I think. little light to carry any of this equipment that we're talking about hauling. In the past, we've had to hire it done whenever we get ready to move the boat ag, and we're kind of relying on the company at their convenience to get us because we're such a small.
What were we paying him?
I think it was $50. How much was it to haul that boat ag around from Cameron's? Was it $250 trip?
Yeah, it's our
Does that sound about
300, yeah, about $300.
$300 a trip. And that's just one way.
Did you, yeah, you had to do it, that trailer, you say you found this trailer, or?
Yes, I have found a trailer, yes.
Where is that? Is it?
Gainesville,
Blackwell.
Okay.
and it's a used trailer also.
What brand?
Don't know if it said, I'm not sure it does.
Is that one you have here?
Yes, that is.
That's a picture.
Yeah.
Triple axle.
Who has it?
Blackwell over in Nation.
Yeah, I've seen his yard over there. Of course, we'll go out for bids on that, right? There's,
I was going to say, we probably
Yeah, I know it.
on that one,
But you can.
but we can.
huh?
We don't have to on that one because of the dollar amount, but we can.
I got you. Well, I think we should.
How does that compare to a price new? Just 'cause I'm curious.
That's not an exorbitant amount of price. Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm just, if you were to buy one of these brand new, what is this, a $50,000 trailer, 40,000?
That one probably is about 50 to 60, yeah, 55. Brand new, I would say. Is that about right? What do you think?
I don't have a clue on these type trailers.
I was looking for whenever I found this one, you know.
I'd shop around.
Yeah.
I'd before that one, but because I'm not sure. I know what a van costs, and that's it.
All right. The next item is a new tractor for 18-wheelers. We're going to start hauling this equipment around. Plus, we'll use the tractor. We've got a long bed dump trailer, and we've got a belly dump trailer. It would be nice to be able to actually go and get our own materials at times. I know in the past, the state had offered us, or offered the county more materials. We had to go to Titus County to get it. I think we could have got all the rack we wanted.
That's
We
correct.
didn't really have a way to go get it. You know, you can't just do it with a 6-yard truck. It takes forever. So we were looking at keeping the tractor we have now and actually add another tractor so we can use that long bed and the belly dump so we can go get our own materials. Even if we go up and get seal coat materials out of Oklahoma, that's about the closest place we can get some seal coat from. So we'll be able to truck it ourselves. So we were looking at keeping the existing tractor out, because it's safe to drive, so we start driving, we're using it some now. And, but we'd like to have another one. And we price them used when we think we can get another truck for around $40,000.
One time, Prescott told us that they had such a large stockpile of material in Texarkana that we could get whatever we wanted. In other words, what days were not like winter days or rainy days, days that you can't normally do the road work. You could use that to go pick up material. It's either seal coat gravel or.
If we did something like that, you know, we'd have to have a man up there loading them, or they could load themselves against our guys, we'd have to take equipment there.
What they've done before, places like this, they'd have a loader up there for us to use. Now that, I don't know if they still do that or not.
No, they wouldn't let you run their equipment.
I know when we've got gravel and things like this, they just leave a loader over there and we load it or something.
But again, if we had the 2 18-wheelers running, we could go get that material, it'd be worth going to get it. It's hardly worth going to get if we're running a 6-yard truck that's going to get it.
And the 6-yard trucks don't have tarps either, so we'd have to tarp every one of them if we even entertain the idea.
Well, I don't agree that we need 2 trucks if we don't. Now, that other truck, I know that y'all got a guy that never drove one and said he was unsafe, and I'm the one that showed him how to drive it. And I've driven them, and one of the problems with that truck, it's a line haul truck. This photo is a line haul truck. You got city pickup and shuttle, you know, trucks you use in town, and you got trucks that you put out on the interstate. That's an interstate truck. The one you've got down at the shop, but the one you've got down there is a problem with that truck. It's an interstate truck, and they've used it because you let a truck driver pick it out. You need somebody that owns a truck to pick it out, not a truck driver, because he's going to pick out a long-nosed Peterbilt. They love them. They bring a lot of money used, I can tell you that. I bought 2 from auction at Big Tex, sold on Peterbilt, and I sold them, I doubled my money. I bought them at the auction down here. People buy them Peterbilts, truck drivers do. So this is it's the wrong type truck, the one we've got. Mechanically, that truck is okay, it just needs some, couple of thousand, but I don't think we could possibly justify having 2 tractors. Get 1 tractor and do it all, if he can do all the material. You know when you need the material, you can pile it up, you can work it all more, but having 2, I think would be foolish. That's just, in my opinion. But I wouldn't, I sure wouldn't buy a truck like the one you've got, or one like, this is a picture of exactly what we've got. But you can buy a lot of, I don't know what the prices are now, but when a tractor was...
You might be able to get one less than $40,000, get us a used truck for less than 40. That's our best estimate right now, what we think we can get one.
Well, you get, I don't know what it cost. They said last year it cost $10,000 to convert one to the hydraulics to make it a pump truck. I don't know whether that's true or not. Ricky said that he had priced it out $10,000 or $12,000. But the problem is these fleet trucks, like big fleets, like I still get an email from Ryder Truck Leasing Company every once in a while for equipment they have for sale, and you can get a truck that's been used in the fleet with the right kind of cab on it, the right transmission, and they have them all the time, and they've been maintained regularly, you know, because they lease to some fleet like Home Depot, for example, and they'll have fleets of trucks, and you can buy those trucks. But I think one of the, if y'all are convinced that 1 truck to buy 2, there's no way on this earth you could utilize 2 trucks. 1 truck would do it all, and if nobody, I would like to see us have a better, more comfortable truck for all 3 of the trailers, pull all 3 of the trailers. But so rather than having...
What you mean by having 2 trucks? Are you saying it wouldn't be wise to buy this in addition to the one we've got?
That's what they said. I said, no, that would be unwise.
To buy 1?
Yeah, and keep the one we've got.
You're saying sell it?
Yeah, or work on it. It needs to be beautified.
The one we discussed for a couple of years.
Right.
Some think is worn out, something you think it's still used.
Oh, it's got a lot of service. It needs some gauges. It needs about a couple $1,000 spent on it, you know. But it's still the wrong kind of truck.
Yeah, one that I would look at is a short nose, kind of like what you're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, this picture was just pulled up just to give an idea of another vehicle that we needed. We were also talking about maybe transport, using bolt trucks to transport material to our roads that we're doing base failures with which would save a little bit of time also. And then we'll also have to have a truck to carry our equipment there also, you know, type thing. So that wet kit that you're talking about, I think that was exaggerated on the price of it. I think we talked to the guy, and I think it was like $2,000 or something like that for a wet kit. But we really wouldn't need a wet kit for that other truck, because we're going to keep the existing truck and use it also, just for the dump trailer. The other trailers wouldn't need a wet kit on them because they're belly dump, they use air, and then the haul trailer, you wouldn't need a wet kit for either. So.
I just think that as seldom as we use it, you're talking about,
Well,
this is,
I don't think we're not getting utilized correctly either, like me personally, because of the money crunch, the money problems that we had, you know, type thing. But we have all this wrap that we're going to mix and have cold mix and stuff. We used to buy all that stuff, and now we're not going to buy it anymore, so now we need a truck. So we're going to have something to follow with.
well, I just think you could use that truck. You're gonna haul material. You can haul material last week, this week, when it rained. I mean, you could be hauling that wrap from Oklahoma. You're talking about day after day. How many days do you think you could trips you need to get a stockpile of it? And that's what you'd be doing. And you're going to have 2 trucks to do that. I think would be. I don't think you could utilize them enough. I think too many days they would be sitting in a yard. If we really got in a jam, you could lease a truck as far as that goes.
We don't want to buy material anymore. We want to make our own. And
I understand.
If we make our own, then we're going to have a way of transport. That's what I was getting at. I mean, there's a lot of times in the past, whenever we purchase material, they truck it to us. So whenever we purchase the material, it's being in and being hauled to us. So now we're not going to buy it anymore, we're going to make it. So we need to somehow get it to our job site where we need it.
And then are you doing that because you need to create your own to do the seal coating, or are you doing that just because you think it's cheaper to make your own than this?
Well, it is a lot cheaper to make our own than it is to buy from like trade. Go back to that next to the last sheet, okay, in the handout. Right now, the state's giving us about 2,000 cubic yards of wrap per year. That makes, we can make about 2,788 tons is what I figured of coal mix a year from that 2,000 cubic yards of wrap. The cost of the county to make that 2,788 tons of mix, of coal mix, will be about $44,000. That gets it down to a cost per ton of about 16 bucks a ton. And we're paying Drake nearly 78 bucks a ton now. Okay. Wow. Now, if I can overlay a road 1 inch deep with the coal mix, I can actually lay that coal mix for about 8,200 a mile. Actually, I can make this stuff cheaper than I can seal coat. So if the state ever gives us opportunity to go get extra wrap, I'd like to be able to go get it. Yeah. And in a shorter period of time as possible before they cut me off. Yeah. Because if they're giving it away, usually they're not just giving it away to us, they're giving it away to other counties around them too.
Is it first come, first served typically?
Sometimes it is. It just depends on how bad they want to get rid of it. If they got a mountain up in Texas County and they want to get rid of it, they'll offer it to every county. But see, our truck, if we hire somebody to truck it, it's going to cost us too much. And if we just run in one truck up there, and the other counties are running 2 or 3 up there, and they're closer, then we won't get as much as they do.
But it might be cheaper to hire somebody to rent a truck than it would be to own a truck sitting around, if that happened.
It might be, but we already own a trailer. We already own 2 trailers.
Al, you're still of the opinion that owning a truck like this is not the best way to go, hiring it out is the better way to go?
No, to have two trucks like this would be, I don't think we'd get enough utilization out of it.
So you're saying buy a different truck or sell the old truck?
Well, no, buy a different one if everybody thinks it's not a comfortable truck for what we use it for at all. It's a truck like this picture. That's a road truck. That's a truck you get on the interstate and go somewhere.
I agree. It is not for the use that we've used. That's true.
Yeah, and the truck that we have now is exactly like this truck.
So tell me what you would suggest doing as an alternative to what Phillips and Roger are suggesting.
I'd have one truck to do all of those things.
And what would that truck look like? This
No, it would not look like these. If we get another truck that would,
similar to this picture,
yeah,
and get rid of the other one?
if that's what everybody says, it's not safe. I think I'd want everybody to feel comfortable. And it's not a comfortable truck for what we use it for. This truck would not be comfortable for what we would use it for either. A different style of cab.
What would that be? I don't know, truck.
It's just, it's just a day truck. It's a little bit shorter nose. It's a little bit shorter wheelbase. It's more designed for the hauler.
So why wouldn't we get that?
That's
We would.
Okay, so this isn't the picture of the truck you were proposing?
This is
I got
just a truck.
I got you.
Right.
I have found one, but they didn't have a picture of it, and
Can you pull up a picture on your phone or your computer or something, just so I have a grasp?
There's not one on there. Well, I'm sure there's one out there somewhere, but I don't know. Let me see if I can find it.
What do you call it? I mean, is there a name for what you're describing?
Who's got one around here?
How do you describe it? What would you describe
Who's
it?
got one around here?
Pilgrim's got one too?
Pilgrim's got some, sure do. That they shuttle those chickens, used to shuttle them to Dallas. They had those trucks.
Almost like a cab over.
No, they're not cab overs, but they're shorter wheelbase, first of all, so they can turn in them chicken yards.
I know what you're talking about.
This thing we got takes a mile to turn it. I mean, it's like this truck right here. I went out 271, I made a left turn on 1360, got in the ditch, I had to back up, all that traffic coming. It took so much room. It was such a long wheelbase tractor, that one that was
Seaton's got a
present.
bunch of these, I think.
Who?
Yeah. Jeff Seaton.
Seaton truck, Jeff Seaton.
Yeah, Seaton's got a bunch.
He uses
Who?
his best
Seaton.
gun to haul the.
Jeff Seaton.
Where you get your iron
Seaton
ore?
Construction.
Oh, yeah.
The Pilgrim truck's got them. Yeah. There's a lot shorter.
Yeah, that's it down there, those chicken houses.
Brian's, when they have a sleeper on them, they call them sleep, and this is called a day cab. It doesn't have a sleeper. But it's still, the wheelbase is shorter, a lot shorter. A lot easier to
So
maneuver.
it's more nimble and
Yeah,
better for
that's-
short hauling around town rather than back and forth to Dallas or Foreman or something.
You could use them too.
That's a good word for it, nimble.
You could use one.
You could use them to go to Dallas stuff too, though.
Okay. If you had to.
Yeah, you
can run on the road with them.
Right. That's what Pilgrims, like go driving to Nacogdoches and stuff, the same trucks, some short trailers.
Any limitations that this has, this picture has versus what we're talking about here?
Well, like I said, they like the gas tank.
Yeah, that's a longer wheelbase.
See, it'd be
Well,
shorter.
this is a long one.
Yeah, the
The
short
other
base.
truck looks pretty much exactly like it, it's just gonna be shorter.
See the
Are there
tire.
any limitations with that kind of truck that Al says is more appropriate for our needs? Or would you agree that, yeah, that would be? Okay.
So that the tires be up here. Like,
Still gonna be priced about the same.
the tires be up
Yes,
here.
the one I have is somewhere around.
It's gonna be like 5 foot shorter.
All right.
So, are we adding one, or are we gonna sell the one we've got now and replace it with a newer one?
We're still thinking about it.
Y'all are still thinking of it, okay.
Well, tell me your own thoughts on getting rid of that other.
I was wanting to keep it, I mean, just so we can run two of them if we needed to.
Well, like Al said, I mean, he's come talk to us about it. It's still tight. The engine's still good. The transmission's still good. It's, you know, it's got some problems with it, with gauges and stuff like that. But I thought, well, it's okay to just use it because we have it.
What's it worth to sell it?
I don't know.
Anybody have an idea? What do you think?
Got any idea?
Doesn't hear you.
What, how much you think you could sell it for?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have a clue.
5?
Oh, no.
25?
Oh, no.
More?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The transmission costs you, sell it for $2,000 or $3,000 out of that truck, that's a...
So, I mean, 30? I mean, if you're talking about significant money, I can understand.
No, probably $15,000 to $20,000.
That's what I was thinking too. Just a guess, 15 to 20.
It'd be but I don't think you can get one for 40 like we're looking for nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know what they cost. Last time I bought trucks, I bought 6 Fords. It was $52,000 a piece. And I know they're 100,000. They were sorry trucks too, the cab was. I don't know what they cost. I bet you that they cost $100,000 a new truck if you bought a sleeper cab. Probably a day cab, $10,000 cheaper.
So
I don't know.
So the decision is, do you liquidate $20,000 worth of truck, or do you hang on to it as a cheap secondary truck?
Right.
Yeah,
That's what Roger said.
I'm saying hang on to it. I mean, it's just, we're not gonna get as much out of it, and I think we still get some good use out of it. I mean, we used it last week. You have 2 truck drivers? Yes, we actually have 5, 6.
It's just, I can tell you, if you do that, I promise you, people will find a reason not to drive that other truck. They're gonna want the good truck and just gonna set their time down. No, I'll just wait on that other one.
Well,
It's
hauling materials and one of them hauling equipment.
I know, but that equipment's you're gonna take that equipment out on a job and it's gonna stay there a few days and you're gonna go back and get it, and you're gonna take, I'm talking about your packer, your bow mag, your whatever else you take out there, and it's gonna come back and that truck's gonna sit until you go pick it up or move it again. I'm talking about the good truck, the haul truck, we'll call it. And then this one, you're not going to use it. And I'm telling you, you could take that haul truck that you move that equipment with, that same truck, make sure it's got a wet kick, and then start hauling material. And you might have to adjust your schedule a little bit, a day or two, to make the truck available. But I'll tell you, you'll be a lot better off than maintaining 2 trucks, keeping them up, maintain them, and have them sitting around.
Yeah, if the only one can get 15,000 for selling it, I'd just soon keep it and try to utilize it.
Well, that's the point. We got a yard full of junk like that now. So we've got way too much of that sitting around, I think, as a county, equipment. And some of it, I don't even know why. There's water trucks that hadn't been moved in 4 years.
Yeah.
Old water trucks.
Yeah, there's 2 of them sitting out there in
Yeah.
Dana's office right now. What's bad is one of them got brand new tires on it. We're trying to figure out what they fit, but they don't fit anything else that we found. Yeah, let's fit our dump
I
truck.
think I got one truck. Yeah.
Found one.
Yeah, I think.
Well, those are my thoughts.
Let's move on to that water truck.
Yeah, when we work at base fairs, out on the road or reworking the subgrade. We've got some of these old oil trucks, which I think we have 3 good ones. Is that what we finally determined?
Yes.
So those 2 in front of Dana's office over there, I don't think they've been moved in a while. So they're questionable whether that's something we can probably get rid of.
What do you do with the water trucks? I don't know.
A water truck, when you're doing work on the compacting dirt or compacting flex base, it takes water to be able to get it to the right moisture content so you can compact it and get good density on it, okay? So you have to have water. And it takes a good bit of water. You know, especially the time of year you're doing this, in June, July, and August. So you have to haul a good bit of water out there to set your material up.
What does this picture hold?
This picture is, I believe that's about 1,500 gallons. Is that what you think that is? A 2,000 gallon water truck. And this one will actually spray. It doesn't just have gravity flow, so it's got a pump that'll spray. This particular one you're looking at in the picture, which again, it's just a picture. It's got 2 spray nozzles in the front of the truck, and it's got 2 spray nozzles mounted on the back of the truck. So it puts out a uniform amount of water. You can control the water better with a spray truck than you can a gravity truck. We still hope we can take one of our oil trucks we have now and make a good gravity water truck out of it. Well, basically, you can't control it real good. While you're doing this turning the valve off and on and dumping it out of the bar. On this, you can control it a little bit better.
You can't buy one of those spray rigs and put on that one of our trucks?
Well, we priced it, and it's $10,000 for the spray.
And then we only got 3 trucks that are available to do that. And we're thinking we need 2 of them carrying oil, 2 mix and fill to mix our material, and then that only leaves 1 left. And we really need another truck to have 2 at each place.
We didn't want to spend $10,000 on a system to put on a truck if the truck's only worth $7,000 or $8,000.
That's not a problem, yeah. And the other 2 oil trucks, they're not good at all. That's part of that jump set we really need to get going. And we'd like to bring y'all a list of stuff at a later date or something and see if we can start selling some of this stuff off. There's no sense in keeping like that winch truck that, the distributor and all that kind of stuff. I think it ought to go.
That's what I did when I went into office. I sold $48,000 worth of stuff. It was just sitting out there, hadn't been used in 5 to 7 years, or 10.
Scrap metal prices for
And well, now the 2 old oil trucks I sold them to guys that had roping arenas, and that's what they were going to use them for, is to water the roping arenas. Didn't get much for them, but it was better than it sitting there rotting down to nothing.
Right. So those 2 out there in Dana's office probably haven't been licensed for 5, 6 years already.
They wasn't when I was there.
I'm surprised one of them had new tires on it.
So this replaces a piece of equipment, or this ups our game a little bit?
It kind of ups the game a little bit.
It's something that we've needed for a long time.
Yeah.
I've seen that we've needed it for a long time. I just didn't have the money to do it.
Same.
I just didn't have it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
2 of those water trucks, one's 85, the other's 88. They both work good, they both run good.
Yeah,
That's the ones we keep.
and Al's got
I know. I'm telling you, one is 85 and the other's 88. Now, they've been took well care of, and the tanks are in excellent shape.
Same kind
Except
of
for one
deal?
of them got the pump out on it now.
We had,
The pump is out on one of them now.
yeah.
Well, it's lasted for
Yeah, a long time, yeah.
29 years. It ought to, about time to change the pump on it. Everything else is good on it.
The new water pump's about $2,000, $2,500.
Yeah, about 2,000.
These are the same kind of vehicles that you're talking about
Yeah.
buying another one of?
No.
Well, it's a little bit different. This is just basically a water truck. It's not an oil truck.
Which is what these other 2 are that he's talking about.
Yeah. And we just converted one of our oil trucks into a water truck, which is going to be a gravity fed, which is like you said, it's hard to get consistency out of it.
Okay, so you still keep these two, but you buy another one here. We're not selling those off in the place.
There's 2 oil trucks that I'd like to put on the list to sell, yes.
And so there's more than
Wore out, Judge.
3, there's 3 is need to
I
go.
always know the last time they moved them.
I think the tires work more than trucks.
We borrowed the pipe off to put on for oil and for water off of precinct 3. We'd borrow the bar across the back where the water come out to do it this year. There's about 3. I thought there's more junks out there than that, or more than 3 or 4 that need to be gone to scrap yard or somewhere. And they're 85. I thought they was older than that.
These here don't do
These probably are older than that.
Well, now, those,
Mine are. They're a lot.
I'm just saying, my 2 truck was 85 and 88, and they're in excellent shape.
Are they?
Excellent.
Those over here, one of them, the motor transmission good, but the rest of it, the pipes on the back, the pump, the bars.
That is correct. Of those 3 trucks, 2 of them was precinct 2, right?
That's correct, yes. 2 of them were precinct 2, 1 was precinct 1. That is correct. And then the other 2 there just need to go with things.
Well, we need a water truck. I think we need a water truck.
So this totals up to about $310,000.
Well, if you bid it out, there's always a possibility somebody, if you're looking at a new one, or if you're looking at a used one, you can still write specs up for it.
That's correct.
And get it. And it might even come in a little bit cheaper.
That goes back to what we're asking for. We're asking to spend some of that money set aside for materials, to spend it on equipment.
All right. Yay, nay, maybe, never.
I just think we need to look at it, and come look at the equipment, and put it on the agenda for next time, vote on it.
Well, I'd like to hear from each of you that know about this kind of stuff. Are these 6 reasonable requests, regardless of where you actually can get it bought? Are all these reasonable requests, and regardless of whether or not you sell any, regardless of whether or not you sell off any equipment, such as the other truck, do you all feel like these are 6 necessary purchases? And if so, how would you propose to pay for them? Who wants to start?
Well, I feel like to get ourselves in position, we're going to have some equipment to do the roads properly and cheaper. And I think that we need all of these things. I think we could make one haul truck, do everything we needed, and then hire an extra one. But I know we need a water truck, and I know we need another packer. Those are things that it's just, I think if we're going to maintain the roads in the best way, we have to do it. And I don't know where it comes from. That $1 million that we paid in the budget this year, I don't know why it can't be used, but.
It can, that's all the decision, whether you want to use it for that. It's just you need to remember you dip it into your reserves and get it.
Right, I understand.
That's all. I'm a little more comfortable with that as the auditor for equipment, because equipment tends to last long. I've never been comfortable dipping into reserves to pay maintenance, for instance, because that's an every year expense. And you just can't dip into your Well, this book's lasted 30 years. If you maintain this book, it may last that long too.
So you would support these purchases. The only thing that you'd add on as a sub-note would be you'd like to see us liquidate that existing haul truck.
If that's the consensus, that's what they prefer to do. And I think, if I'm reading right, that's what they would prefer to do. But that'd be their call.
Mike,
We also have the ability to sell whatever we get. If Jimmy got $48,000 for stuff in something, you maybe get $150,000 for all the pieces you're selling. I don't know. I don't know what all we got. Y'all got the equipment list there, we had built inventories, so they're gonna come back with their picture of what needs to be sold, and go to auction. I don't know what you get. Hopefully you don't have to sell it just from scratch. Anything you get can be used to offset these numbers here. But you don't have to do it.
what do you think?
On selling equipment?
No, that's a totally different subject for a totally different meeting. What do you think about the need to purchase these six items?
The drum, the vibrator, that's something that can be used from now on, regardless of what's going on. I would love to have one back there, but we just couldn't afford it. The distributor trailer, I think you can do the same thing. As far as that goes, could we take one of those oil trucks and have it run as soon as that trailer run out, pump it over into that?
Yes, you can.
And that way you wouldn't have to move your distributor. That's what we always did, and it ran pretty smooth. We were able to cover a lot of ground. You can do 3 miles in a day if everything clicking and everything run right. The water pump, you would need that to push the water out instead of letting it naturally gravity flow.
No, that's to get it in the trucks when we're out in the rural area. To be able to push it to the truck instead of the truck having to suck it so far. Because I don't think the trucks can suck water maybe 20, 25 feet. And there may be times when we're a lot farther away from the trucks.
And we have hydrants set up out in the county, and we've got a deal worked out where we can, and I'm sure Phil will probably talk about that, but that's a big saver to have water close like that. You got those hydrants that you can use. I don't have a problem with that. If you're looking at $700 for that. The haul trailer, you pay $300. Last year I paid $300 every time we had a piece of equipment moved. First thing you know, you done spent 2 or 3, depending on what you're trying to move and get there, but you can spend up as much as $4,000 or $5,000 for one precinct.
Right.
I don't know about the other precincts, but I know what we did trying to get, anytime you rode that equipment, you're wearing it out.
Right. That and you got a boat bag that runs 2.5 miles an hour. It takes forever to get there.
It takes forever to get there, but you're still wearing that equipment out going the road. And if you go from Talco and you can take it over here to close to Welch plants, that's a long way to road that sucker.
Right.
So that's the reason to me it was more economical to haul it and to pay Cameron, even though I felt like if we all went together, we could, over a reasonable time, 4 or 5 years, he'd pay for himself. So and then the truck for hauling, I don't know what the truck's going to bring. If it's going to bring $5,000, $10,000, we need to keep it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think we can get much more. We can't get much more.
If we can get that material, and they tell us you just haul all you get, because that one of these days there's not going to be any. And what you showed here on that second page to me, to make that.
Yeah, I make the coal mix a whole lot cheaper for us making it.
cost of the county was $44,152. That's a whole lot better than $78. And I felt like that could happen, but I just, you know, you put an inch of coal mix on these roads, and let me tell you something, that's the same thing as a seal coat as far as I'm concerned, maybe even a little bit better.
No, not really.
I understand, you need to seal coat it at some point, but this gets it in the best shape you can get it before you seal coat it. You can go down the road and let it cure out for several years.
Right.
And then seal coat it.
Right.
But it would take care of your immediate cost there. It goes way down.
It just, we can't do it 80 miles a year before we get allocated.
Right. And then the water truck spray system, I don't have a problem with that. Because you're out fixing spot, you're not necessarily going to always fix the whole road.
No,
They fix 100 yards.
This summer, pretty much what we're going to do, we're going to jump around all over the county working base pavers, is what my plan is. So I need to do all this stuff.
That's basically what I did last summer too. You know, the water damage was so severe in every precinct last year. We had that 11 inches, 30 hours. It was devastating. You're going to have some spots and stuff where you don't need to fix the whole road. You just need this 100-yard or 200-yard section.
Then we'll have a lot of roads that actually need to go out and level up. We just put material on top. But we have a lot of base pavers. We have a lot of roads that are too far gone to actually smear something on top to hold it steady.
And I've got two roads right now in that shape. Same problem now, man. I got loggers.
Right.
One side sold the logs last year, now this side's selling the logs, and we're sitting there having to do it. And you got to get them in and out. Those people have a right to get their product to market. Now, they wanted to go back over the good road. I said, no, you're not going over those roads. But let me suggest something to the court, and we need to probably do this because Franklin County did this several years ago. We need to make them put up a cash bond. They're hauling timber and dirt and stuff like this. They have to put up a cash bond if they're going to haul on those roads. So these county roads are not built or made to haul for kind of 80,000 pounds. And then they get the permit, and they can add a couple more 1,000 pounds on it. And we get none of that.
Are you okay with funding these purchases with the $1 million that was set aside in the budget?
I don't have any problem with it. I do think we're going to have to go out for bids. And you also, on this government, what is it called? Buy board and stuff, you might check with each individual, like CAP, GAG, those type of things. You might check, see what their buy board. I know the state do it, but they also have some different buy boards you can look at. Sometimes you can save a little bit there. The distributor, there's no question about that. We got to have that. You're not going to be able to do anything if you don't have that. And you can use that on spotting again. That's what I like about it. You can do this. Go 16 feet, that'll cover a lot of your little narrow county roads with one swipe. The haul trailer, I think it pays for itself over a period of time.
Dana, what do you think?
You know, it's a good deal. We need it. You know, it's utilizes instead of like renting it. You know, because you buy it, like Carl said, it's a lot more efficient to have it yourself than having to, you know what you got then. And as far as material, I talked to Pat Carter over at XTO, and she's gonna get me some diagrams and stuff to figure out what if you do material and stuff. That she's maybe wanting to sell some of that too. But we need the the equipment to do it with.
You okay with paying for it out of the $1 million?
Yes, sir.
Jimmy?
I understand we need all of this pretty much, I know we were already talking about the distributor truck or trailer or whatever. Been talking about that for over a year now. If they feel safe driving the other truck, I don't have a problem with that, with them keeping it or whatever. But from what I've told, and one of my guys got in it and went out and loaded some route, and he ended up dumping it and taking it back to the yard. He didn't want to drive it, and that was while we were gone to commissioner school in Austin this year. And the haul trailer, that'll save us definitely by being able to haul our own equipment, not having to pay somebody to do it. So I know we need it. I know it's going to cut a chunk out of the $1 million that we had for that we basically set up for the roads and all. But if these guys think that it'll work, well, then they need to. I trust their judgment with it.
And I would imagine you're ready to buy each and every piece as soon as you can?
Yes.
All right, you've heard the needs. Sounds like you all are in agreement. We need a motion. Let's make a decision.
I make a motion to purchase it.
We've got the agenda item states discussion regarding equipment needs with possible action to follow. Is that adequate wording in you all's mind to authorize moving forward with this? However you word this, I would like for a couple of you to work with Philip and Roger to ensure that everybody believes that each and every purchase is made as efficiently as it can be made.
Well, I understand they're going to, certainly they're going to, the motion's going to be go out to bids, they're going to bring bids back to court.
Yeah.
You're going to have to prove it, so I mean, at that point.
Well, on the on the buy board stuff.
The buy board's on that, because it is state bid already.
But that only applies on new stuff, I think.
Anything used, you have to go out to bid on. If it's over 50,000, the distributor road, more than likely it's on the buy board. We could probably purchase it off the buy board. Everything else on there except for that laboratory roller will probably get paid out. The rest of that will probably buy without bid.
Well, just because you can buy it without bid.
I'm just saying that's a good idea. No, I just.
I think, but that's what I want these guys to decide and give you direction on.
Yeah. It needs some help purchasing stuff. I mean, I can do all the research, but I mean, we got more people researching. I love to open arms. Get the best price for it.
And that's the tough thing right now. I think everybody, all the contractors and everybody knows there's fixing to be, the state's fixing to spend a ton of money. And you're fixing to see equipment go up, you're fixing to see seal coat material, the oil, the gravel, you're going to see all that go up because of the law of supply and demand. They're fixing to spend a ton of money. That's going to cause us to have to pay more money. Is that correct, Roger?
Yeah, I think our material prices will be going up. And some of them we've already get, I'm hearing right now, it's hard to get silver.
That's what I was told in Austin. They said the cost was really going to go up. Yeah.
We don't buy near as much as what these contractors buy. Maybe we'd be put off at the very end, getting it right.
Well, it's like anything else. You got to catch it at the right time. Right now, to me, if we're going to do something, we're going to have to do it pretty quick because once you get into the summertime, it's no telling what those prices are.
Right now, we have a lot of rock that we can use as a stockpile.
Yeah.
So we can use a lot of it.
Yeah.
Planning on using all of it.
And You know, I don't know how long this is gonna go, for a year or 2 years or whatever, but the state is fixing to spend a lot of money, law, supply and demand, and they got the money.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost.
The producers have to make up their mind when they're gonna gear up and produce more materials. But I imagine wall will go up. Asphalt will go up.
All right,
Well,
somebody
one
jump
big
out
thing,
there.
If we can keep oil prices stabilized, that helps big time. 2 years ago, the barrel of oil was $109 a barrel. That's all I have, Judge. You want to, looks like to me we can vote on this, can
Not without a motion in a second.
we? Make that motion.
What's your motion?
I'll second it.
Let's define the motion real carefully first, so there's no misunderstanding. And again, there's nothing, you can't finalize a purchase without another formal decision. You're just giving these guys direction.
Go ahead.
And deciding if you all are going to participate in the process.
Go out to bid on these 6 items.
Yeah. Make a motion to go out for bid on these items, and let's look at doing all of them.
Okay, and go ahead and put into that motion how you would propose paying for this, even though that'll have to be
Would come
again
out of the-
specified later.
Would come out of the $1 million that we had appropriated to seal coat roads, because you don't get the roads in shape, you're just wasting your time seal coating.
Okay, so the motion is to authorize Roger to go out for bid on each and every item that is on this request list to be paid for out of the remaining $925,000 from our road materials fund that was budgeted last year. That's the motion. I heard a second by Commissioner Riddle. All in favor, say aye.
Brian, I've got a
Yes.
question first. Is this going to be open-ended, or are we going with this figure, dollar figure we've got right here?
These were estimates, as I understand it.
Well,
Each and every one of these will have to be approved individually, either based on a bid or a buy board purchase.
Okay.
So you'll have another opportunity to approve an actual final total.
Each individual one of them will have to be approved, whether it's the buy board or the bid.
And as you're soliciting bids, I suppose that it's, you would want to contact people that just putting an ad in the paper isn't going to attract, they're not going to see this. You're going to want to make contact with everybody you think's got the ability to provide you that, that kind of equipment. Okay, so I've got a motion and a second. Anything else? Anybody, discussion-wise? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sounds like we've got a unanimous vote. Thank you guys for putting this together. I like the fact that you're proposing things that are going to improve our ability to provide better roads, and I'm looking at this as an investment, long-term investment, rather than quick fixes, and I like that. Okay, just closing comments, if any.
I don't have any.
Done.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Commissioner Parker,
I made a motion.
you made the motion. Okay, Commissioner Applewhite, seconded by Commissioner Parker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
No.